Have you ever been so lost in a daydream that it felt, well, completely real? Or maybe you've woken up from a dream with your heart just pounding in your chest? It turns out that line between what you imagine and what you actually experience is way, way blurrier than you might think. Today, we're diving into the neuroscience that shows why your inner world can feel just as vivid as the one outside.
So this is really the big question, right? How is it possible that just imagining the roar of a crowd or the taste of your favorite food can trigger actual physical sensations? What in the world is happening inside our brains to make that happen?
All right, let's try a quick experiment together. Close your eyes for a second if you can. I want you to picture a bright yellow lemon. Really see it. Feel its waxy skin. Now imagine you're slicing it right down the middle. You can see the juice glistening. Okay. Bring that slice up to your mouth and take a big bite. So did your mouth just water? For a lot of us, it does. And that little physical reaction, that's our first clue.
And that's because, and this is the key to everything, your brain, at a really fundamental level, has a hard time telling the difference between an experience you vividly imagine and one that you're actually living through. That whole lemon thing, it wasn't just a party trick. It was a live demonstration of one of the most fascinating things about our minds.
So, that brings us to our first big idea, the brain's shared blueprint. You can almost think of your mind as this incredible movie theater, one that plays films so realistic they actually trick the brain into believing they're real.
Now the science here is it's awesome. When an athlete just imagines nailing a perfect slam dunk, their brain literally lights up in the exact same regions as when they physically do it. We're talking about the key areas for planning, memory, and vision. They all fire up. It's like the brain is running the very same software for both imagination and reality.
And this isn't just a neat brain trick. It has huge real-world impact. Athletes who use these visualization techniques can improve their muscle coordination by around 30%. By just mentally rehearsing, they're strengthening the neural pathways for success. They're literally building a blueprint for victory in their brain before they even step onto the court.
But here's the thing. The best visualization isn't just about what you see. The most powerful mental rehearsals are totally multisensory. It's about seeing all the vibrant colors, feeling the tension and release in your muscles, hearing the roar of the crowd, and yeah, even smelling the gym. The more senses you pull in, the more real that experience becomes for your brain. And if you want to see just how intertwined our senses can get, look no further than synesthesia. This is a condition where stimulating one sense, like hearing a sound, actually triggers a totally different one, like tasting strawberries. It's just a powerful reminder that our perception of the world isn't fixed at all. It's actively being built by these deeply interwoven connections in our brain.
Okay, so if our brain is this incredible movie maker, how does it deal with all the information flooding in from the outside world? Well, it uses something we're going to call the Great Filter.
I want you to try and wrap your head around this number. Every single second, your senses are getting hit with about 11 million bits of information. That's everything you see, hear, feel, smell, taste, all of it. It's an absolute flood of raw data. So how could we possibly make sense of all that?
The simple answer is, we don't. Of those 11 million bits flying at you, your conscious mind only actually processes about 2,000. That is a staggering reduction. It means the reality that you're aware of right now is just a tiny, tiny fraction of what's actually available to your senses. So, who or what decides which bits get through?
I want you to meet your brain's personal bouncer, the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. This network of neurons is the ultimate gatekeeper. It's constantly scanning all that data and basically asking, is this important? Do we need this? And it only lets through the information that's related to your goals, your fears, and your focus, while filtering pretty much everything else out as just background noise. Okay, this leads us to what might be the most mind-bending part of this whole journey. Your brain doesn't just filter reality, it actively predicts it. It's less like a camera that's passively recording the world and a lot more like a fortune teller that's constantly guessing what's about to happen next.
This quote nails the idea of what scientists call the Bayesian brain. It means that what you perceive isn't the raw data from your senses. No, it's your brain's best guess of what's out there. A guess that's constantly being updated and corrected by your senses. So in a way, your entire perception of reality is a kind of controlled hallucination, a prediction that just happens to line up with the real world. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's actually experience this prediction machine in action. We're going to use a classic auditory illusion that shows just how good your brain is at filling in the blanks based on what it expects. Okay, so I want you to listen really closely to this next sentence. So, did you hear the cough? Now, most people hear the full, complete sentence and they hear the cough separately. But here's the trick. A piece of one of the words was completely cut out and replaced by that cough sound. Your brain predicted what the missing sound should be and just filled it in for you, proving that it often hears what it expects to hear.
So, where does all of this leave us? I mean, what happens when you put all these pieces together? The shared neural pathways, that great filter, and this incredible prediction machine. Well, we end up at a really profound conclusion about the nature of our own reality. Okay, let's tie this all together. Your brain uses the very same circuits for both imagination and action. It uses a filter, your RAS, to decide what tiny slice of the world you actually get to notice. And it uses a prediction machine to literally build your perception from the ground up. The big takeaway here? Your experience of reality isn't a passive recording. It's an active, moment-by-moment construction. And that leads us to this final, really powerful thought. That boundary between your inner world and the outer world, it's not a solid wall. What you focus on, what you vividly imagine, what you expect to experience, all of that doesn't just color your perception of reality. It actively helps to build it. You're not just a passenger along for the ride. In a very real sense, you are the architect of your own experience.